Switzerland. A village without cars for 500 years. A place where you have to buy a ticket to throw away your trash. Is there a place where people commute by cable car every day? Here, women go on dates by climbing mountains together, and cows get massages and have their own tunnels. All of this is real in Switzerland. Join us as we explore the 15 most bizarre and amazing facts about Switzerland in today's travel documentary. Number 15, Switzerland. No sea, no capital, but the most unique in Europe. Switzerland, officially known as the Confederatio Helvetica, CH, is a landlocked country often referred to as the Green Heart of Europe. Covering an area of just about 15,940 square miles, roughly the size of Maryland in the US, it boasts over 1,500 lakes, 4 official languages, and one of the highest standards of living in the world. By 2025, Switzerland's population is expected to exceed 8.9 million, with about 25% being foreigners, making it one of the most multicultural countries in Europe. The official languages include German, French, Italian, and Romansh, an ancient Latin-based language spoken by only about 0.5% of the population, yet preserved as a national treasure. Interestingly, Switzerland has no official capital. Instead, the city of Bern is considered the federal administrative center. The climate here is diverse, with cool summers like Oregon and snowy winters like Colorado, yet it features a transportation system that is precise to the second and boasts some of the cleanest air in the world. Number 14, Mürren, one of the most beautiful villages in the Alps. In Switzerland, there's a place where time seems to stand still. Mürren, a tiny village perched on a cliff at 1,650 meters, accessible only by cogwheel train or cable car. Here you don't need a car because they aren't allowed, and locals commute to work, school, and even to buy bread by cable car every day, much like New Yorkers taking the subway, except instead of car horns, you hear the wind whistling through the deep Lauterbrunnen Valley below. In winter, the entire village transforms into a massive ski park. Children slide down to school, and adults ski home after lunch at a small roadside cafe. There are no advertising billboards, no McDonald's, but there are centuries-old wooden houses, handcrafted cheese made in copper pots over wood fires, and 85-year-olds still walking every day to stay fit. Mürren is also famous for its perfect views of the legendary trio of the Alps Eiger, Mönch and Jungfrau, where you can sip your morning coffee while witnessing the most vibrant natural scenery in Europe. At the top of Schilthorn, the rotating restaurant Piz Gloria spins 360 degrees just like in a James Bond movie. But instead of tuxedos and martinis, you sit next to guests in handmade sweaters, enjoying hot soup by a foggy window. In Mürren, life moves slowly, very slowly. But it's never boring. They still hold small folk festivals every summer where you can hear yodeling, mingling with the sound of cowbells, see locals weaving baskets, carving wood and baking chestnut cakes. Not for sale, but to share. And yes, they live long, healthy lives without needing Google Maps because the village has only one road, and everyone knows each other. Number 13, Swiss women, strong, wealthy, and the most interesting in Europe. When you step into the elegant streets of Zurich or Geneva, don't be surprised if you encounter women who are not only beautiful but also rollerblading and effortlessly speaking 3 languages as if they were changing TV channels. Swiss women are known not only for their fair skin and athletic figures like mountain girls, but also for being some of the top financial experts in Europe. They know how to save, invest, and even manage stock portfolios like true CEOs. Interestingly, Swiss women have a higher participation rate in climbing and sports than men. And housewives here are not just cooking at home. They can make handcrafted chocolate, ski as proficiently as professional athletes, and guide you on a tour around the Alps in 3 languages. Marriage in Switzerland is not rushed. The average marriage age for women is 31, the highest in Europe, and more women are choosing to live single but are still very happy, successful, and wealthy. Interestingly, in Zurich, there are even cafes called farewell cafes where couples share a cappuccino before wishing each other luck and parting ways. And do you know what the popular dating method in Switzerland is? It's not Tinder, it's a mountain climbing buddy app. To fall in love, you must climb a mountain together. There's even a TV show called Find a Trekking Partner. And if you want to know how to connect with Swiss women or learn more about how they love and live to win over a Swiss girl, leave a comment with the number 8. I'll share the secrets with you. Number 12. The kingdom of the happiest cows in the world. Do you think cows are just livestock? In Switzerland, cows are a national symbol, the queens of the hills, and are treated like VIPs. Interestingly, Switzerland still has traditional cowbell villages where each cow wears a large brass bell as heavy as 33 pounds to make them easier to find when they wander off in the woods or through thick fog in the Alps. And if you're imagining the sound of bells echoing through the valley, you're right. But that's not just movie background music, it's the everyday sound in many rural areas of Switzerland. Notably, the Swiss play a nearly 13-foot-long instrument called the Alphorn, not for performance, but to call the cows home. To avoid traffic jams caused by cows on the highways, Switzerland has even designed special tunnels just for cows to pass through the mountains. In autumn, the entire country celebrates the festival of bringing cows down from the mountains, where each cow is crowned with a floral crown and parades like a movie star. In Switzerland, cows not only have horns, but also honor. If you visit Switzerland, would you want to try blowing a nearly 4-meter-long Alphorn in the valley? And do you think you could blow the Alphorn? Leave a comment with the number 2 if you think you can, or number 3 if you can't. Number 11. Zermatt. The fairy tale village at the foot of the Matterhorn. Zermatt, a car-free village for over 500 years. No cars, no gasoline engines. People move around by small electric vehicles, horse-drawn carriages, walking or skiing. An extraordinarily peaceful world. The residents of Zermatt greet each other every morning on the walking paths because who would be sitting behind a steering wheel? Children play joyfully, the elderly stroll leisurely with their dogs, and neighbors know each other by their breath. Life is simple, slow, and surprisingly connected. Zermatt sits at an altitude of 5,250 feet at the foot of the Matterhorn, the most photographed mountain in the world and the inspiration for Toblerone chocolate. The air here is so pure it's likened to a natural oxygen source, leading many American tourists to jokingly say, breathing one breath in Zermatt is like 10 detox sessions at a spa in Beverly Hills. Not only is Zermatt beautiful, but it's also smart. A snow-clearing robot system operates 24/7, silently clearing snow, grooming the roads, and even greeting guests in English. The skiing season lasts year-round with over 300 sunny days, making it one of the most expensive winter resorts in Europe. At Christmas, over 30,000 smart LED lights illuminate the village, creating a scene as dazzling as in the movie The Polar Express. The old town with its 500-year-old wooden houses is perfectly preserved, where you can sip hot wine while listening to the sound of horse bells ringing outside in the snow. Number 10. Bahnhofstrasse, the busiest street in Switzerland. In the heart of Zurich, there's a street without car horns, no flashing advertisements, yet it ranks among the top 3 most expensive shopping streets in the world. Bahnhofstrasse. Less than a mile long, about 1,200 meters, it serves as the backbone of Swiss fashion, finance, and class. You don't just come here to shop, you step into a living fashion museum. From Chanel to Hermes, from Rolex to Patek Philippe, each store feels like an art gallery where the lighting is just right, and staff don't solicit but gently nod if you have the right vibe. Interestingly, beneath this street lies the largest underground vaults of Credit Suisse, housing the financial data of invisible clients from all over the world. This means that when you're buying Gucci shoes, you might be standing above billions of dollars worth of assets, quietly resting. During Christmas, Bahnhofstrasse doesn't light up in a Hollywood dazzling style, but hangs over 11,000 tiny LED lights named Lucy, creating a gentle, exquisite light symphony so beautiful that you might just want to stand and admire it without daring to take a selfie. And perhaps the strangest thing, in a place where you can spend $100,000 in just 1 hour, no one asks your name, what you do, or where you're from. You are respected in silence, just as Switzerland has quietly built its wealth over hundreds of years. Number 9. Luckerbad, the spa capital of Switzerland. Located at over 4,600 feet in the majestic Alps, Leukerbad is not only the spa capital of Switzerland but also the largest and highest natural spa in Europe. Every day, over 1 million gallons of sulfur and calcium-rich mineral water gush from 65 springs, enough for an entire rugby team to soak all winter long. Soaking in these hot springs is not just a habit, it's a serious cultural ritual. Since ancient Roman times, people believed that the hot water here could cure joint pain, relieve stress, and even heal broken hearts after battles. And guess what? On holidays, the people of Leukerbad still wear traditional costumes to the spa, sitting amidst the rising steam as if they've stepped into a wet musical. Unlike Paris, where mornings begin with espresso, in Leukerbad, an 80-year-old starts their day by walking through the snow to soak in a 120-degree Fahrenheit mineral pool while it's only 30 degrees outside. They not only maintain their health, but also preserve the rare tranquility in a world filled with ringing phones. And the most interesting part? There's a hotel here built directly on the hot spring, bringing water straight from the ground to the bathtub in your room. You just turn on the tap and embrace a piece of Switzerland without stepping outside or putting on a bulky robe. Number 8, the most beautiful wedding ceremony in the mountains of Europe. In Switzerland, weddings are not just events, they are a part of the soul of the culture. Here, people don't celebrate with flashy stages or MCs giving speeches but quietly return love to its most authentic roots: nature, community, and endurance. It's not uncommon for couples in Switzerland to hold their wedding ceremonies in the forest right next to a stream, under the canopy of centuries-old pine trees. This isn't a strange choice but a way for the Swiss to honor love in harmony with the earth, just as they live simply, profoundly, and without ostentation. What's special is that each region has its own customs. In Appenzell, wedding dresses are bright and patterned, while in Bern, they are embroidered with white crosses, the national symbol. A dress can take up to 2 years to complete and is treasured as a family heirloom. Instead of limos or luxury cars, the groom climbs the mountain to fetch the bride with relatives. Then they all walk to the ceremony as a test of patience and appreciation. This is Swiss culture. No rush, no frills, just truth and endurance. Instead of tiered cakes, many traditional Swiss weddings serve herb cheesecakes or chestnut pies, symbolizing connection. After the wedding, friends smash ceramic pots at the couple's door to ward off evil spirits. Sounds strange, but it's a lot of fun. Number 7. The unique Swiss lifestyle that can't be found anywhere else. In Switzerland, if you put a plastic bottle in the wrong trash bin, you might receive a gentle reminder from your neighbor, and possibly even an official letter. This is no joke. The Swiss are so serious that you have to buy trash bags with a serial number, or you'll be fined. You might feel like you're living in a country with strict regulations. However, this also reflects absolute respect for the community. Interestingly, the Swiss are quite reserved. They prefer to keep things discreet. They don't show off, don't boast, and there are no loud greetings, just gentle, quick handshakes, as if you're shaking hands with a friend without needing to say anything, just a glance and a gesture. In Switzerland, punctuality is a religion. If a train is 2 minutes late, you might read a newspaper and see an official apology from the company. And it's not just timing, everything is standardized down to the smallest detail. If you live in a residential area, don't dare hang clothes on the balcony on Sundays. Not because you'll be criticized, but because it's an aesthetic law, as if you're infringing on the harmony of the entire community. And if you find an old house here, don't be surprised that many families still live in wooden houses from the 17th century. But they've installed solar panels on the roof, just like having Santa Claus driving a Tesla. Number 6, the cheese-worshipping country with a fondue museum. If you think cheese is just a snack, the Swiss will make you rethink that. Each Swiss person consumes over 20 pounds of cheese annually, making this country a cheese paradise. And not only do they eat it, but they also produce cheese on a large scale. Switzerland is one of the largest cheese-producing countries in the world, with millions of tons of cheese processed each year. The most notable is Gruyere cheese, a superstar with a rich, savory flavor, which is a key ingredient in traditional fondue. Switzerland boasts over 450 types of cheese, from the robust oak-smoked Gruyere to the classic Emmental with its signature holes. The country even has a fondue museum where you can admire 100-year-old cheese blocks preserved like works of art. If you're a fondue enthusiast, don't miss the Fondue Museum in Switzerland, where you can see 100-year-old cheese and participate in the unique fondue pot-breaking festival, a part of Swiss culture. In fact, the locals have an unwritten rule. If you drop bread into the cheese pot, you must reciprocate with a friendly gesture to the person next to you. Fondue is not just a meal, it's an art, with rules for stirring cheese counterclockwise and creating echoing sounds as the cheese bubbles. Fondue has become the quintessential dish of Switzerland, especially in winter when the whole village gathers around a hot cheese pot. It's a paradise for cheese lovers, and those wanting to immerse themselves in the unique culinary culture of this country. Number 5. Life in Bern. Bern is like an old leather-bound book, humble on the outside but filled with countless enchanting stories within. The cobblestone streets of Bern, its arched buildings, red-tiled roofs, and the longest covered arcades in Europe, Lauben, stretching 6 kilometers, are places where you can walk, shop, avoid the rain, and listen to street music all at once. The traffic is so clean, there's no dust. People ride bikes and trams while children play in parks next to the Zitglogge clock tower, a 15th century astronomical clock where every hour brings a charming mechanical puppet show. Do you love must-see attractions? Start with the magnificent Bundeshaus, the Swiss Parliament building which is open for free tours when not in session. Bären Park, home to real bears, the city's mascots, lives next to the Aare River, as if in a natural forest. The Rosengarten, Rose Garden, is the perfect spot to get a panoramic view of Bern from above, especially in spring, when over 200 varieties of roses bloom. In the afternoon, locals swim in the Aare River as if it were a summer highway. This is a real everyday activity. In the evening, try a glass of wine in the ancient cellars beneath the old town. Once shelters during wartime, now transformed into bars and jazz lounges where Bernese engage in gentle conversations, laugh just enough and live very Swiss. Interestingly, despite being the capital, Bern retains the feel of a small town where everyone knows each other, neighbors greet each other every morning, and the public library is busier than the bars. Number 4. The most famous travel wonder in Europe. If there's one country that makes you want to pull out your phone to take pictures every 5 minutes, it's definitely Switzerland. If you could only choose one mountain to remember Switzerland by, it would surely be the Matterhorn, a 4,478-meter peak with an almost perfect pyramid shape, located near the Italian border, and the image printed on Toblerone chocolate boxes. This is not only a global symbol but also one of the most photographed mountains in the world. If you want to touch the roof of Europe, head to Jungfraujoch, home to the highest train station on the continent, 3,454 meters, and year-round snow. You'll ride a cogwheel train through the heart of the Alps and gaze at the Aletsch Glacier, the longest glacier in Europe. Next, for a historic castle, Chillon Castle by Lake Geneva is a perfect choice. This medieval castle is so beautiful that Lord Byron once wrote poetry about it, and it's the most photographed castle in Switzerland. And if you prefer to move slowly to savor every frame, try the Glacier Express, the slowest train in the world but beautiful every minute, which takes 8 hours to traverse 291 bridges and 91 tunnels. Finally, don't miss Lauterbrunnen, the valley with 72 waterfalls where the scenery is so breathtaking it's said to have inspired the Rivendell region in The Lord of the Rings. The picturesque views make it the most famous trekking and nature tourism destination in Switzerland. Number 3. The most famous festival in Switzerland. If you think Switzerland is just about snowy mountains and expensive watches, come during festival season. You'll see a country that knows how to party in a very unique and cultured way. Kicking off is the Fête de l'Escalade in Geneva, held in December to celebrate the glorious victory of the people of Geneva over the invading Savoy forces in 1602. The entire city transforms into a medieval setting with parades featuring drums, horses, and most notably, everyone breaks chocolate pots shaped like cauldrons by hand, symbolizing the victory when a housewife poured hot soup on enemy soldiers from her window. Then, in February or March, Basler Fastnacht turns the city into a winter art frenzy with 72 hours of costumes, night parades, and thousands of people wearing bizarre masks, drumming and playing horns day and night. This is not only the largest festival in Switzerland but also recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. Zurich welcomes summer by burning a snowman, and if you're lucky enough to be there at the right time, don't miss the Fête des Vignerons, a wine festival that only occurs every 20 to 25 years. A massive stage by Lake Geneva with thousands of performers, so breathtaking, it will leave you speechless. Number 2. The cost of living in Switzerland. You might have to spend more in Switzerland than in other countries, but in return, you're living in one of the safest, cleanest, and highest quality places in the world, where trains run on time to the minute, the air is as pure as spring water, and you can leave your wallet in the park and still find it intact. In major cities like Zurich or Geneva, renting a one-bedroom apartment in the city center can cost around $1,800 to $2,200 per month. In suburban areas, the figures are more manageable, about $1,200 to $1,600. Basic utilities, electricity, water, heating, range from $180 to $250, while high-speed internet is about $40 to $50 per month. A simple meal at a restaurant costs between $18 to $25, while cooking at home requires around $350 to $450 per month. Overall, the cost of living for one person in Switzerland is about $2,800 to $3,800 per month, which is 30 to 50% higher than the European average and about 10 to 20% more than many expensive states in the US. But why do thousands of foreigners choose to live here every year? Because Switzerland boasts a world-class healthcare system, nearly perfect public services. And if you live in smaller cities like Lucerne, Lausanne, or St. Gallen, costs can drop by 30 to 40% while the quality of life remains nearly unchanged. Work visas, student visas, or long-term residency for highly skilled individuals are well supported by the Swiss government, and many international companies here offer very high salaries to offset living costs. Additionally, the average income of Swiss people ranks among the highest in the world, with an average monthly income of nearly $7,000. Number 1. The culinary paradise of Switzerland. Switzerland is not only famous for its majestic Alps and delicious chocolate, but its cuisine is also an integral part of its culture. One must-try dish is Rösti, a crispy fried potato cake, which is the national breakfast of the Swiss, especially in the Bern region. Served with cold cuts, this dish has become a staple not just in Switzerland but also in neighboring countries. If you prefer heartier dishes, Alplurmagrinnen, an Alpine-style pasta dish, combines macaroni, potatoes, cream, and cheese, making it an ideal meal for those needing something warm and hearty. And don't forget Nusstorte, a delicious walnut cake from Engadine. So tasty, you'll want to bring some back as a gift for friends. But the most interesting part is that enjoying Swiss cuisine is not just about taste. It's a journey to explore culture, where each dish carries a story of history, tradition, and unforgettable emotions. We've just explored 15 unique and fascinating facts about Switzerland together. Hopefully this gave you a fresh perspective on the country. Don't forget to follow our channel, and share the video to support us. See you in the next one.